love all of you. I'll just introduce my sister a bit. My sister is in Ohio, a retired animal control officer, dog warden, Tuscarawas County dog warden of 25 years. One of the very few female dog wardens in the country. She's been retired for on or about 3 years, and during this time, she wanted to pay it forward to the animal kingdom, in particular dogs. She has 4 dogs now. So she locally produced, went through all her pictures of Spot. She's made no money on this. 50% of the proceeds from the little book I'm going to read go to Tuscarawas County Humane Society, which some of you fellow Buckeyes know is below Akron, Canton, Ohio. Once the book was done, it was distributed to the vet offices, the pet stores, the coffee shops, even the Christian bookstore, and even the tattoo shop. So she made around $1,000, $2,000, okay? And 50% of this went to the Tuscarawas County Humane Society. I was there when this book was being produced about Spot, who was an abandoned dog, and she adopted him at 2. He's now 17 years young. During this time, she was asked at the local library to be one of the authors selected to read her book to folks like you and me, which she did. Also, at the local library, every month they have, like, say, everybody has hats, or they can take their dog statues. She probably has 300 or 400 dog statues. So she put those there, and she was available to talk about her dog statues. Then we went to East Elementary in Dover, New Philadelphia, Ohio, and she took Spot and herself for career day. And the children asked about what's it like to be a dog warden, animal control officer. Thirdly, she went to the churches and read with Spot and her. I don't know how good this picture shows up. There's little Spot and the little girl reading, and there's the book. Notice Spot's one ear is full of spots, thus go Spot go in his name, and the other's black and white ear. So I'm going to go ahead and read this book to you. First, I want to show you, if you can see, there's Spot, go Spot go, and I'll tell you why that was named that. Now look at the back of the book. There's the back of him for the end, okay? So, Go Spot Go by Karen Slough, all right? I'm gonna read it from the dog's perspective because that's what my sister wanted. My name is Spot, and I've got quite a lot of thoughts to share with you. A long time ago, in the wind and snow, I was lost with nowhere to go. I was cold and so weak till a nice young man found me and took me to warmth and safety. There's Spot. He drove me to the pound, lots of dogs all around, and most of the time it was pretty darn loud. A nice lady there liked to pet me a lot. I thought she thought I might have forgot that I once had a home, but now it was gone. I tried to be strong, but for so very long, I really thought I'd done something wrong. How could you resist that face? The lady who fed and took care of me often wondered aloud how it could possibly be that no one had ever come looking for me. Then one sunny day, she took me home just to play, then gave me a big hug and said I could always stay. My heart filled with joy. I had a home and my very own toys, and even a daddy bow wow. Oh boy. There's my sister with Spot. But then I got sick, and it happened so quick. The doctors weren't sure I could even be fixed. There's little Spot not feeling too good. But Mommy said that I was so dear and there really was nothing to fear. Everyone prayed for a miracle. But after a while, I felt better and better. Then the vet wrote me a discharge letter, and I even got a brand new red sweater. When it was time to leave, I felt so relieved. I was finally going home to my mommy. Here's Spot. My tail started wagging, but my legs were still dragging. So Daddy pulled me in a pretty cool wagon. I'm so happy to be in such a great family. I knew all along I just had to believe. Yet I stumble and fumble. I've taken quite a few tumbles, so I focus and try to stay humble. My sister's husband, boyfriend of 47 years, built this little red wagon, and I was up there, so we took Spot in this homemade red wagon, and the neighbors said, "Go, Spot, go." And that's where the name of the book came from. But I've got to get moving, and with help from my humans, I know someday soon I'll be a zoomin'. And as I start healing, I can't help but to feeling I've just got to keep on believing. So we go back to the doctor. I'm glad because I really like her. She's pleased, and I know that for sure. There's his little nose and eyes as ears. Because I get lots of treats. She knew I couldn't be beat. And now I can stand on all my 4 feet. So now my wish has come true, and it can for you too. My heart is bursting with much gratitude. Thank you, thank you. I love you, Spot. He's reading his newspaper. He's looking out for all of us, and my sister still goes and walks the dogs at the Tuscarawas County Humane Society, and Spot and her are my heroes. Thank you for allowing me to share this book with you.
Yay, I unmuted everybody. Yay!
Yay! That was great.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So how many of you have a dog or cat from the Humane Society or an adopted pet?
Oh, I'll get mine.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody one more time.
Ooh.
And okay, so I'm still unmuted. So now what I'd like to do is, I think everybody has a pet. So we're just going to start and go across and introduce our pets. So Kelly, is Shelly there with you? And do you have your furry friends?
They're wandering around the room. Look good.
You want to see if you want to get them?
This is Barney.
That's Barney. How old is Barney?
How old is Barney?
10.
10.
10. And you had a second furry friend.
Yes.
This is Gracie, and she's 4.
And what
She's
kind
a
of
teddy
dog?
bear. She's a teddy bear, which is a combination of a Bichon and a Shih Tzu. And Barney was a rescue. He's a Cairn Schnauzer, and they call him a Carnauzer.
Carnauzer. I've never heard of that. Carnauzer.
We
And so-
Googled it.
Do they do anything special besides yapping?
He eats a lot.
Gracie watches TV, so she's really enjoying this. She
Uh-huh.
really likes to watch TV.
That's so cute. So
And
cute.
she loves the Claret and Commercial Beagle.
She has a boy crush. Huh? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Tom and Randy, do you have a furry friend? And that's not Tom.
No,
No,
she has
well,
one and I have one.
it's not really furry and it's not really alive. But here's, this is my teddy bear. And actually this teddy bear came to when I taught kindergarten for 20 years, this teddy bear went home with every single child that I taught. And they would take the bear home for the weekend and take it everywhere that they went. And then they would write in their little journal a little story about, his name was Bestie the bear. So anyhow, this morning when I was thinking about not having an animal, then Tom said, well, it doesn't have to be real. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring Bestie. So here he is. Actually, my grandmother made this, no, great-grandmother made this for my oldest son when he was born. So, and he's about to be 50. So that's how old Bestie is. And he's very well loved.
Very good.
That's it.
Very cute.
Now, when I heard that we were going to share our pets or whatever, first thing I thought of was like, does anybody have a talking pet? Like, who remembers the movies back in the day called Francis the Talking Mule? Anybody ever remember that? And they had a TV show called Mr. Ed where they were talking. Well, back in the day also, see if you can tell what this is. It's my pet rock. From 1975. I found this rock, and I don't know whether you can see what's written on the back of
Hold
it.
it down a little.
Uh,
Can you see what it says?
Can you see what it says? It says love on the back of it. So when I found it, I picked it up and flipped it over, and it had love on the other side of it. So he doesn't talk. He's not as expensive as going to the vet with it. It doesn't talk back to me, and it does exactly what I tell it to do.
And he doesn't cost a lot either.
It didn't cost me.
Does it have a special name?
It's called Rock.
Rock. Okay.
Love Rock.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing with us today. Walter, do you have a special friend?
I have a mule. It looks about like a cat. It's kind of yellow out there. His Barney, Morris. And
Morris the cat?
And he served, we named him for Green.
Are we trying to bring him to the screen so we can see him?
He's gone right now.
We're going to bring him over here for you. Come here.
Okay. You got.
Kitty.
Okay, I'm gonna move to Ann and Nolan, and when you get that, bring that cat on, I'll bring you back, okay?
Okay.
So Ann and Nolan, you guys have a furry friend, I see.
Yes, I can't get her up here right now. Let's go, Precious.
Oh, aw.
Help me with her, honey.
Oh, how
She just won't be up
sweet.
here.
She looks heavy.
She's heavy.
Yeah.
She's heavy, but we got her, our youngest son and his wife got her for Nolan 7 Christmases ago. They had researched that pets are good for people with Alzheimer's. They're comforting and soothing, and so they got her for him for Christmas. And when she came out of the cage, I said, oh, isn't she precious? And that's what we named her, Precious.
Precious.
She's a wonderful pet, just really have enjoyed her a lot.
Nolan, whose lap does she sit on the most? Yours or Anne's?
Both of us, really.
Okay.
Yeah, both of us, I'd say.
And I'd have to say that pets, they are awesome. And that's why we do the Happy Tales once a month in the program. But I think they're awesome for everybody. They're very therapeutic no matter what, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, Precious.
Mhm.
Okay, so Al, do you all have a pet to share? Somebody
Hi.
going to get a pet?
Oh, yeah, Sandra's going to get Callie, but here's a picture of her if we can get this
Just put
thing
it
up.
right in front of your camera. There you go. Oh, Callie.
That's Callie. She might be a little reluctant, but if she isn't, she'll be here in a moment. And we adopted her in December of 2018. Here she comes. She's a calico, and we adopted her from the Cobb County Animal Control.
Oh, sweet.
And as you can see, she's got an unusual colored face. And they said she was about 10 years old, and we intentionally adopted an older cat. As you can see, we're a little bit older, like most folks here. And just thought that was appropriate. And took her about a year or so, but she's adjusting nicely, and so are we. And she's pretty well in control of the household, as cats want to be, you know.
Does she do anything special? Does she have any special tricks, special gifts?
She doesn't, but her predecessor, we had a snowshoe Siamese that walked on a leash and traveled a great deal and was quite a different cat. But this one so far is a cat.
A cat.
But she's coming along. She's adjusting.
That's awesome. Well, she's beautiful, beautiful kitties. Doug, how about you? Do you have a pet to share with us today?
Yes.
Doug, where'd you go?
To get Midnight.
How
She's
did she get
solid
that
black.
name?
She's solid black. And we got her from the Cobb Animal Control Center as well. She's probably about 10 years old. And this is, we've had cats for most of our adult life. And this is the current one.
She's
And
sweet.
she
Does she have
likes
any
to-
special talents?
She wiggles well.
Wait, Tom has something to say.
Is that a Persian? What kind of cat is that?
Black.
And I had one just like that when I was a
Inky.
child, and I named it Inky because he was black, like ink, whatever. Interesting. Very, very pretty cat.
Inky.
Inky.
And she likes to chase bottle caps.
Oh,
Well, there's a special gift, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, it's nice to meet Midnight. Okay, Carolyn, I know you have a special pet.
Yeah. Yes. This is Gus. And there you go. There you go. Gus is now 11 years old, and he's the fifth dachshund we got on a string with dachshunds. So we so enjoy him. He's our special guy, and we live in an RV now. We retired, and he loves to go around and visit everybody. People mostly. He's found out that people really like him, so he'll come up to your door, and if you open it, he'll go in, and he might get a treat. He might get a pat on the head. Just depends. So, but we just love him to death, and he's a special friend of Jerry's dog, Lucy. They kind of were puppies together, so he would like to steal her toys when we went to Jerry and Skip's. he would get the biggest toy he could find and just drag it wherever. And you can see he's wiggly too. So, but yeah, this is him.
That's Gus. Yes, his best friend is Lucy, my dog.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
cuddle up together once they get
yes.
acclimated
Oh,
again.
yeah,
They
yeah.
sleep together on pillows here at our
And
house.
he likes to, as dachshunds do, they burrow in blankets. So the more blankets that he can burrow in, the better he likes it, and snoozes a lot now.
I think
Hey,
Shelley has a
Cassie.
question. Shelley.
Am I unmuted? Oh, I was going to ask about Gus. We had a dachshund for 14 and a half years, Peanut, and we had an RV, and he used to like to sit in the front window when Kelly was driving. Does Gus do that?
No, we don't have the motor home. We have a
Fifth
park
wheel?
model. And
Okay.
but he has patio doors that he knows everything that's going on in the neighborhood. All we have to do is ask him.
I'm going to have sorry, you can't hear me. I have a helper here, so I'm going to ask him to show Lucy really quick because I can't lift Lucy, but my helper can. So lift her up and put her right here in front of the camera. There's Lucy. Lucy, look here. Oh, hey everybody. There's my little chocolate lab. She's not quite as gray as I am yet, but she's getting there. Okay, so Lucy is 11. And her special gift is she doesn't listen to me. So she only listens to my husband. And if we're in the water on the boat, she doesn't chase animals. She likes to jump in after sticks. So that's her special gift. Anyways, and she's just a chocolate lab, and she was the runt of the litter. So if I was ever to get another puppy, I think I would get the runt of the litter because she has been very calm, very easy to train. And I probably should have gotten her about 5 years before I did. But, you know, with 3 little boys, I did not want something else to take care of at the time. And I probably waited just a few years too long because she's been wonderful. So, okay, so I'm going to mute myself and then I'm going to go to Bill. You're on, Daisy. You're on.
So this is our kitty, Daisy. Patrice knows her because we got her from the Good Muse kitty shelter. She was one kitty from a horde of kitties brought up from South Georgia where they rescued about 40 or 50 kitties. And when rescuers are bringing kitties back, they name them on the road. So her first name was Ramada. They named her after the Ramada Inn when they were driving up the expressway. But cats luckily changed their name pretty quickly, and so we changed her name to Daisy. And she runs around the house, so we have a screened-in porch. And last week, Susan, my wife, was looking out on the screened-in porch, and she noticed something flew through the window. And Daisy caught a bird that flew through the window on the screen. But Susan went out and saved the bird, and we set the bird free. So Daisy's just a very independent, probably we've had her now about 2 years, a very independent kid. So. And the grandkids love to chase her under the furniture if they can get close to her. So. That's Daisy. Right, Daisy, say goodbye, everybody. Daisy wants to bite me right now anyway, so.
Bye, Daisy. Thanks, Bill. I wonder where she gets an independent attitude from.
Probably from my best friend, Susan.
Oh, you're the wrong one.
That was my guess. Just a second, I think Randy has a question for you. Randy?
So you said that you got her from Good News?
Right.
Well, the neat thing about Good News, I took my grandson and granddaughter there to read to the cats. My grandson especially is a reluctant reader. He doesn't really like to read, and he's very self-conscious if he thinks anybody's listening to him.
Yeah.
The great thing about reading to a cat is that they just sit there and you know, they don't say anything and they don't pass any judgment. So they got T-shirts that said, "I read to the cat." At Good News.
Good News is a wonderful cat shelter. I know Patrice knows a lot about that. They do a wonderful thing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
all age kittens, big cats, old cats, little cats, whatever.
All
Awesome.
different foods.
Bye,
So
Daisy.
a little story about cats. Leaving my neighborhood the other day, and I ran over a cat. And I went up to the neighbor's door and knocked on it and said, "I think I ran over your cat." And the neighbor looked at me and said, "Well, Tom, how do you know it was my cat? What did he look like?" And I went,
Okay, I'm going to mute Tom now. And Bill, thank you for sharing Daisy with us. There is one person on here. There's an owner's iPad. I don't see a picture, and I just want you to be able to share with the group if you have a pet to share. So on the bottom of your iPad, there should be like a video camera, and if you can say start video, we'll see a picture of you. On the bottom, it should say stop videos. So there's like a video camera icon. If you click on that. There you go. Oh, Sherry. Yay, you did get on. Okay. Awesome. Are you ready to share?
I'm ready. This is Ellie. Ellie Mae is, I just woke her up. Ellie Mae, can you say hello? Can you see? Can you see her? Can you see Ellie?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. All right. This is Ellie. We've had her for a week now. And like I said, I just woke her up. But anyway, she's 12 weeks old. And we got her from the SOFGA, the Society of Humane Friends of Georgia. And it's a shelter. Anyway, we've only had her a week, and she's a sweet girl. She likes to play, and she does take a lot of naps still since she's so young. But anyway, she likes to play. She likes to chew up her mom's hands. She likes to take the blanket out of her crate and out of her bed. And what else, Ellie? Anyway, she's a sweet girl, and we're happy to have her as an addition. And this was a good time to train her, and she's already learning how to fetch toys and bring them back. So she can be a little terror, but she is a mixed Shih Tzu Poodle Terrier.
Terribly cute.
Well, thank you.
So Sherry, just to tell you all who Sherry is, she's one of my volunteers, one of my main volunteers over in West Cobb. So Nolan gets to see a lot of Sherry. And
Hey,
when Sherry told me she got this puppy, I'm like, are you crazy? Like, you know, getting a puppy like that's like having a new baby in the house, right? And I said, so how many times in the night are you having to get up? And I think what you said, Sherry, is that your husband stays up late.
Been very good. The first night, yes, Tom stays up late till about till around 11:30 midnight, and then I get up at 6, and she's very good. She hasn't had any accidents, and she doesn't cry. I'm trying to get you to see her, but she's been a very good puppy.
So I asked Sherry, why did you get a puppy? You know, it's so much work. And she says, since I'm not doing the day club, and I had, you know, and I think her daughter recently got married, she goes, I just needed something to take care of.
Yeah, I did. And they are a lot of work when they're a puppy. I forgot. It's been about 18 years since I've had a puppy. And it is a lot of work. You can't let her loose for 1 minute, can you? Because she's wanting to chew the edges of the rugs, the woodwork, the furniture. Yep.
She's adorable.
Give you a run for your money for sure. But we love her.
She's adorable.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to mute you, Sherry, and Patrice. Patrice, I am unmuting you right now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I think you see Bella trying to peek in here because I have Treats in my hand. It's good to see you. I am Happy Tales representative today because we see each other at Aloha every third Monday of the month. Here we are on a Monday, and Happy Tales is a pet therapy organization. We're a nonprofit. We've existed in Atlanta metropolitan area for about 25, 30 years almost. And behind me in the picture is my therapy cat, Bella, who was trying to peek in a little bit earlier. And I've been coming to Aloha to Aging is a very special place for us because it's been almost 10 years. My husband and I both started with Happy Tales with a little black dog called AC. And along the way, we adopted Bella from a rescue called Half the Way Home. It's in this area of Marietta and mostly Cobb County. And Bella came to us as a mommy who had given up her kitten to adoption, and she has been a spectacular kitty cat. And Aloha was the first visit. Come over here, Bella. Aloha was the first visit. Let me see if we can do the icon. Was the first visit Bella ever, she sees herself, has ever participated in. And now it's been at least 6 years, because Bella's 8 years old now, and she's been coming to Mount Bethel Aloha to Aging for 6 years. So she's a little, she loves treats. She's a gorper. She'll do just about anything for a treat. In fact, the other day, I pulled her stroller out, just wanting her to keep in shape for visiting, and put a treat or two in the stroller. And before you know it, she's relaxing and resting there all afternoon. And I thought, well, let's see if I take her out for a walk in the neighborhood, and maybe she can do some neighborhood therapy. And we did. So now she's actually wanting to go for walks outside, and she's, getting to work at home, I guess. So she's a great kitty. And all of our, we have a family of kitties. My husband also has Happy Tales visits with our dogs. We have 2 doggies who both are great visitors. Lexi has come to Aloha to Aging. She's the dog that jumps through the hoops. And Lily, our new pup, she's only, she was 2 years old when she passed her test. So she's 2.5 now. And she's come once or twice also to Aloha when Bella gets a little cranky. So she's spending her days just relaxing on the screened-in porch. Just kind of, the bird story sounds very familiar. Most of the birds have made it. One bird did not, but when they get under the eaves on our screened-in porch, sometimes we have an extra set of feathers. So, we're all doing well. In fact, with the cat rescue, Good Muse, a little story to tell there is that we had to take every cat out of the shelter about 6-7 weeks ago. That was over 120, counting the ones that were in the sick bay and the new kitties. And all the volunteers at the shelter, which I am one, helped out by taking 1 or 2 kitties. And we took a favorite kitty. My husband and I both love a kitty named Alice. And we had her for about 3 or 4 weeks before we looked at each other and said, Alice belongs in Hosmerland, which is our last name. So we adopted her while she was being fostered by us. And that makes 5 kitties. There's a contest at Good Muse for draw your cat, your Good Muse cat. So now Alice is our Good Muse kitty. Can you see it? I'm not sure.
Point it down, point your camera down more towards it.
Okay, let's see. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's an old girl. She's older. She's 9 years old, and she has some medical needs, but we can take care of that. So I spent some time doing kitty cat portraits, and here's Bella's picture. Oh, it's not working too good. There we go. But I've been painting and drawing and having a good time. So it's almost like being on a vacation here with all the pets.
Well, they're awfully sweet. And I know Bella's awfully sweet. If those of you that have not seen her, she's the little princess, comes in her stroller, and she has different collars and stuff, right, Patrice?
She wears a little vest. All the kitties have to be like on a leash, which is like someone's kitty that was able to walk on a leash. They have to wear that, be under control all the time, because you never know what's going to happen with the little animals. And we visit with dogs as well. So Bella feels most comfortable in our pet stroller, which kind of looks like a baby jogger, except no baby. In fact, a funny story, we once took her to a blessing of animals at our church, and it seemed like every other animal was a dog or a lizard. And the pastor walked right by Bella, and I thought, and he said, "Oh, I thought it was a baby." I said, "Well, she's my fur baby." So she got her blessing. But Bella has been she's definitely my smartest cat. We have loving cats and cranky cats and just big old friendly cats. In fact, this is Boris, our other kitty. He is just a love boat. He's a lover, but he would not be a good therapy cat because he just gets too scared of the stroller. But anyway, that's Happy Tales is our pet therapy, and Good Muse is our cat rescue. So we have a lot of fur in the house.
And they're an awesome organization. Yeah. And they are on time every third Monday of every month, right?
Absolutely.
Does anybody have any? Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Patrice while we have her on? Anybody? Not right now? Okay. Well, we have one more person to share, but we'll open it back up for questions afterwards if anybody thinks of anything for any of our pet furry friends. Okay, just saying, I think Tom and Randy.
So you didn't explain why they had to go take all the cats, why you took 2 or 3 cats?
Out of Good Muse.
We took all the cats, yes, from Good Muse. It was at the end of March, or the week before the end, so about the 22nd, the 23rd. With the quarantine and there are constant shifts morning and evening for cleaning and feeding and medications. So the word on the street was that somebody may have had the virus that was a volunteer. So without any hesitation, they just called on the volunteers and said, if you have a cat that you'd like to foster, if not, they had kittens, they had old cats, one-eyed cats, families that were bonded, we have plenty of volunteers, so they put their name in and all stood up, and we're still in quarantine with the shelter, so it'll be a few more weeks before we can take all the kitties back. But they do have the reading to cats for kids. They did a Zoom class for virtual yoga So there's still things going on at Good Muse. You could visit their website. Lots of good things.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one last person to share, Kathy, who started us out with her story, but she wanted to share her puppy. Go ahead, Kathy.
Hi again, this is Kathy, and this is my little Henrietta. And some of you, probably Patrice, is familiar with Mostly Mutts. And I started January 16th. I said, I'm retired. I want to pay it back like my sister's doing because we grew up with dogs. And I was originally going to have a dog named Horatio, but on that day I was to pick him up. He went to the prison program and hopefully he's adopted. And they had this old lady here, like, well, us, not all of us old ladies, but, you know, mature, okay. And they said, what about Henrietta? I said, well, okay, I can handle Henrietta. She was actually still in quarantine. She's senior, she's 10 years young. And so I said, okay, so 2 days, 5 days. She's just waking up from her nap. And I said, I am proud to say I don't like to fail at things, but I adopted my little Doxy Henrietta, 10 years young. And so she runs the house now. I just have me and my dog. My boyfriend lives elsewhere in Ohio. I don't give Henrietta ice cream, but for in the morning, she gets health science, green beans, carrots, yogurt. She went to the vet yesterday. She has some respiratory allergies like me. And then in the evening, she gets the health science diet, green beans, carrots, and peanut butter. And then her specialty is, we don't know her background. She was pulled from an animal shelter, and her specialty is barking. So she still barks at leaves. She loves the vacuum cleaner, my cleaning lady. She barks at other dogs as there that you have a Doxy too. We know they kind of bark a lot, but we've determined, I'm in a huge condo complex, we've determined she is the best burglar alarm for the entire 280 condo complex. So this is Henrietta. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Kathy. So, yay, everybody. So does anybody have any questions or anything else they thought of that they'd like to share while we're still on? I do have one. I'll tell you how spoiled my dog is. So I'm addicted to Chick-fil-A milkshakes. And I have an 18-year-old who, if I say milkshake, he's on his way, okay? So we have milkshakes quite often. And as soon as those things walk in the door, Lucy knows that she is getting the lid to my milkshake, and I'm going to smear ice cream in it, and she gets whipped cream, and she will spend hours licking that thing out. so that she's a little spoiled. Bill, yeah, Bill.
We used to keep our grandkids, 3 of them, 2 days a week, and our youngest one, Carson, who is, I guess, 18 months, loved Daisy. So when you'd go to Daisy, after a while, she would go, trying to get him to go away. So Susan and I had to go to the pet store to get some more kitty litter. And if you go to the, I think it's Petco right there by the, whatever the new shoe place is, by Kohl's, they have the kittens on display by the window. So Carson, our little grandson, went up to the window and went to the cat, thinking that's how cats talk.
That's funny, that what they learn when they're younger. They think that's what they do. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Carolyn.
Yeah, I just remembered I went to someone's home and saw a book that I have fallen in love with. I'm going to give copies to everybody I know. It's called Old Dogs. Old Dogs. And the book is full of all different kinds of dogs and little stories about them, very well written. And even if you don't have an old dog, these are just, it's like a, a little table book that you can read. And I pick it up every once in a while. I've read the whole thing, but I pick it up every once in a while and just read a little excerpt from it. Um, and the photographs are gorgeous in it. It's all black and white, but it's called Old Dogs by Jean Weingarten. So if you ever want to have a little coffee table book that is something you just pick up and look at every once in a while, that's a good one.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And there's probably somebody on here that is going to come up with an old cats book. Huh? Because we got a lot of cat lovers out here. Not Shelly and Kelly. I have you on.
We don't have any. Oh yeah, we have a grand cat, but we're not very familiar with cats.
No. Okay, does anybody else have anything they want to share? Tom? Well, Kathy, Kathy, you did too? Kathy, go ahead.
Well, my sister has 4 dogs, one of which is a younger dachshund. And my mom just lives in a facility, and she'll just take a dog over a day and show my mom and wave the paws. And all my sister's 4 dogs, including Spot, are unofficial therapy dogs for the retirement community where my mom is at.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, Tom, did you?
Yeah.
Tom, do you remember what you were going to say?
Yes, and when I was a child, I was notorious for when I saw Doug's cat, the black, I call it Persian cat or whatever. We had a long-haired Persian cat that I called Inky, but I was real good at naming my pets. I had a black cat that had white on its paws, and it just covered his paws. So I named him Snowfoot, like he was walking in the snow, Snowfoot. Oh yeah, and my dog that I had was a Boston Terrier, a mixture, and when I brought him home from an 8-year-old friend of mine gave it to me when I was 8, and the dog would go all around the house sniffing, exploring. So I named him Nosy. So those are my dogs and cats' names or whatever. Go ahead, Mr. Bill.
Okay, awesome. Let me unmute Bill just a second. There you go, Bill.
As we talked about dog stories, this is a little cute book about mysteries, miracles, and amazing stories. And the story is Curious Cats and How They Bless Our Lives. And our sister in Colorado sent this one. And this is another one that says, Pause for a Moment with God. It's got a little kitty cat, and it's got little stories from kitty cats about it. So the cats get equal footing. We're going to talk about the kitty book.
I figured there were just as many cat books out there as dogs, right? That's awesome. Okay, does anybody else have anything they want to share? Bill, you have something?
Well, no, the lady's got her hand raised. I can't think of her name. Albert? Is it Albert?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sandra, I'm sorry. You're giving me the peace sign. Okay.
The best book that we've ever read related to cats was Dewey, the library cat. And both my husband and I read it, and both of us in the last chapter, we just had tears running down our cheeks. It was a beautiful book about a library that rescued and named the cat Dewey.
Oh, that's so cute.
Just a thought. If you ever see it, it's a great book.
Awesome. Thanks for letting us know. Dewey, the library cat. Okay, anybody else? Would anybody else like? Walter. Hey, Walter.
I can't find one more for me.
Can't find her?
No.
Okay, well, next time. We'll work on getting her here next time.
Yeah, over there with the kid road in the way.
Okay, okay. Okay, well, it was awesome meeting everybody's furry friends. Did everybody enjoy that? I'm going to open everybody up here in just a second, but I appreciate all of you coming on, and Kathy for reading our story today and sharing that about your sister, and Patrice sharing about Happy Tales and Good Muse, so everybody knows about that. So now we have something to research, and sharing all the books that are available, so everybody can go get some new reading material now while they're quarantined. We'll probably plan on doing another Happy Tales. We're kind of maintaining our same normalcy while we're at home, so we'll probably do another one in a month or so, in 3-4 weeks. But I thought this was kind of fun, so hopefully those that missed it today can join us again next time. So think about some more interesting stories about your pets and we'll share again. Or maybe they'll learn you can teach them something before the next time we meet. I don't know. So tomorrow, I just want to let you know that tomorrow's activity is not at 11. It's at 2 o'clock. So I hope you noticed that in the programming. And it is a game called Penny Ante, and it's a lot of fun. It's just a game that we will play, and we really get to know a lot about one another and get to share stories about ourselves. So it's a very fun game to play. Some people play it like a poker game, but unfortunately that will be too hard to do virtually, but we will do it without the poker playing side of it. But it is a very interesting game, and we learn a lot. And then on Wednesday, we go back to our regular time at 11 o'clock, and we do have a musical guest, Tom Bratton. He's the guitar player that shows up with my mother's group, for those of you that go to East Cobb. And those of you from West Cobb, he's an awesome musician. So he'll be providing more easy listening type music, Frank Sinatra, James Taylor, people like that. So he's really good too. So again, thanks for joining. And I'm going to unmute everybody so we can all say goodbye. And I hope everybody joins us the rest of the week for our activities. And it was so great seeing all of you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
long.
Thank you.
Thanks for-
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Great to see you, Kelly.
We gotta go out.
It's good to be seen.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Very good.